Hey everybody, it's the Nitty Professor. I'm here with Culver and the local cicadas to talk to you about the 613 jacket that Culver bought at Schott's in New York. Tell us about your purchase, what motivated you as a slow fashion aficionado.
Obviously I like leather goods, and I like Horween, and I like Chrome XL. And I forget, feels like it's been a few years now since I got it. I forget how I became so intrigued with the motorcycle jacket. Something was evocative of the style, or rather provocative in certain ways, and I liked the construction, the wool, the leather, high quality stuff that won't break really unless you get in a catastrophic motorcycle accident where the jacket will break and you probably won't as much, which is the idea, I think. But this is a P613S model in burgundy Chrome XL. I think it's often marketed as Steerhide in their marketing, and I think it's one of the heaviest leathers you can get from them in a jacket.
So we just weighed it. What did we come up with?
It's a medium and it weighs about 6.5 pounds. It's a heavy jacket. When you're wearing it about, it definitely warms up. The leather softens a little bit as you wear it in a day, especially if it's a warmer day and with your body heat warming it up as well. And you can see I've gotten enough wear on to really get some creases that guide my movements, I guess, when I've got it on. And it smells good. And it's beautiful.
I'm a fan of the smell of tanned leather.
And if you just watched the video on my boot journey the other day, culminating in the whites I purchased, it's the exact same leather between the two. So this was the first burgundy Chrome XL model I ever bought of anything. And
can you tell us anything about Schott's, the company? Like
the company.
Yeah, did you like research where to buy this kind of product, because it's not like an everyday thing?
Right. I was excited to travel to New York City and go to their storefront they have there. It's one of, I think, 3 stores they've got in the U.S. or around that many. And
we have a dog.
I like that they are archival designs that basically don't change really, from different periods, from especially the early 1900s toward the 1950s.
So it's classic.
It is, absolutely. I mean, Marlon Brando was known for wearing certain Schott jackets when he was in the bigger movies he did, especially in the 40s and the 50s. And then the Ramones wore Schott jackets, Schott leather motorcycle jackets. And I believe one of the men who created the company in the early 1910s, 1920s, I think they were immigrants from Europe. They might have been Russian. I can't quite recall. They came up. I think one of Schott's claim to fame is coming up with this asymmetrical zipper design. And as far as motorcycling goes, that's supposed to help, shield you from the wind. I've kind of joked with my friends before that this is like the ultimate windbreaker, because I've worn it in like very. It's not that cold outside, but the wind chill is making it feel awful against your skin. And with this on, I mean, you don't feel anything against your skin.
What are some things about the details that are appealing to this model? I'm looking at the pockets, for example. The construction is sort of extraordinary.
Well, I guess on that note, it's good to mention differentiation between different models, because a lot of the motorcycle Schott makes a lot of different kinds of jackets, but like this traditional motorcycle jacket, they have minute detail differences between the models that distinguish them. This is a slimmer cut that doesn't allow much room in the abdomen, to be quite honest, when it's on. And it's got this belt. Not all of them have this attached belt. This cannot be removed. It's got a specific pocket design. There was a model, I think, that came out sometime around the 1940s or 50s that had, it was called a D pocket, that had a different shaped pocket somewhere on the breast here, but this has slightly more simplistic diagonal zipper pockets.
They're roomy.
It's got something that not all of the jackets have, which is these epaulettes, these straps, which are a little bit militaristic in their history, and this star as well. I think some models are actually called the one-star look or model.
This reminds me a little bit of some of the clothes that your great-grandfather would have worn. He was a motorcycle cop. And I have a picture of him that I sometimes use for a backdrop in his tall leather boots and his police uniform.
And another function of this coat that is more functional as opposed to historical design is the way the back is constructed. These are sometimes called footballs, or other times marked as a bi-swing back, which sometimes I think involves an elastic band that goes across between the shoulder blades on different models of motorcycle jackets. But it makes it so that as a motorcyclist, if you were indeed one, when you reach forward, you know, to grab your chopper, you're not just stretching your back, you know, and limiting your mobility. It actually has this gusset built into it that opens up and, you know, gives you a little bit more ease of motion, which is nice.
And where was it made?
The U.S.
Yeah, American made.
Made in the USA from American tanned leather.
Chicago for the leather.
Made, like a lot of Schott jackets, it's made under the Perfecto brand.
You can hold that up closer so they can see that.
That's the label it's got inside. And over the decades, a lot of these labels haven't changed much either, which is really nice to see. I feel like what I find so appealing about the company is that there's so much pride in the product they make and the heritage of it all. Literally is a heritage good, because, I mean, chances are, if I hang on to this for my life, I could give it to my own child, and it would be just as good of a coat.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, how long do you expect this to last you?
I mean, I don't know when it will stop lasting. I'll put it that way.
Just don't bulk up too much.
Yeah, it's so rigid. It's so well constructed and put together. And I guess we forgot to mention some of the interior details.
Look, it
here.
has this pocket right here. That's crazy.
It's got an interior pocket that is quite deep. Sometimes I've taken this on
there.
Yeah, I've taken this on certain urban trips where it's very handy to walk around the city and be able to hold a water bottle and my phone. And back when I had a phone that needed replacing, I had to carry a portable battery to charge it. And so I had that all just stuffed into this jacket in different places. It's got a wool lining all over the torso and the back. And then I believe a cotton, this might be cotton and polyester, but I think it's mostly a cotton lining in the sleeves. It's not perfect. I think there are some concessions with the fit because it's hard to break in. It is so
yeah, the break-in would be interesting to know about. And also the care.
The care,
you can't totally neglect beautiful leather like this.
Yeah, some people do, and then look at it decades later, and that's part of like why it's beautiful, is how
the
much it's come along. And to be honest, I've never conditioned it. I've actually, I've kind of conditioned it
good now.
In one spot. I was leaning against a concrete picnic bench for too long one day, and I noticed it was getting like really scratched up along the back here. And I personally didn't really like how that looked, so I just massaged a little bit of mink oil into it, I think. And it's gotten some fun little marks of wear over time, especially in the elbows. It's gotten a little bit softer. Some of the pigment has almost been rubbed out a little bit where I lean against stuff, and here in the back of the shoulder especially as well. But it's so hard wearing. But part of the issue with breaking it in is that, especially if you haven't worn it for a while, if it's been sitting on the shelf in your closet for a while, it will feel stiff again when you put it back on. And sometimes I've moved my elbows just enough that it actually may begin to bruise me a little bit on the inside here, because this isn't exactly very flexible, and the lining pinches up on your skin kind of. So you have to be careful. And again, this is like the thickest jacket they offer. This is the heaviest one, because they offer other models of motorcycle jackets that don't have the same design in softer leathers.
Lamb.
Lamb.
I would probably enjoy sheepskin.
And some horsehide leathers. They're just as well known for the horsehide ones as they are for the Steerhide jackets. And yeah, I mean, it's still beautiful, and I'm still very much in love with it, and I think it's a beautiful jacket.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got drawbacks. It's not entirely per function that one wears it, especially because I don't ride a motorcycle.
You've considered it.
I've considered it. I don't really benefit from some of the design ideas that have gone into this and stayed in it over the decades.
That's what you have your Filson coats for.
Exactly. Those are a little bit more maybe practical for the life I lead in today's world. But it's so satisfying that this is a relic of the past, even when it's new. You know, it's part of a tradition of garments that mean something to a lot of people.
Quality, care, pride. Yeah, not like a lot of the coats, the bubble coats that everybody's wearing today that are so disposable. Yeah. Well, I think we should do a little closer with you modeling it.
Yeah, okay.
So that'll be our next step. Be right back. All right, Culver, now tell us how you feel with this jacket on.
Well, I feel like someone could punch me and I'd be fine. Or someone could try and stab me and I'll probably be fine. It feels just like wearing a high-quality pair of boots. There's a sense of protection. And just like how when I have the Knicks on, I feel like I can kick anything. I feel like I feel somewhat invincible in this. There's a feeling of a little bit of power, to be honest.
It's empowering.
And I've even had people brush up against me on the street. I don't even feel it because I've got this thick second skin on here. Like I say, I mentioned that the abdomen with this construction, it's a little bit tight, you know, because you're designed to sit on a motorcycle and be protected while you're wearing it. And to be quite honest, even my size, and I think it's the right size, it can be a bit of a stretch to get my hands into the pockets and bring them back out, you know.
Do you think further break-in will help with that?
I'm not so sure, because I mean, if you look at the way the sleeves have creased over time, I've worn this jacket a good deal.
Yeah.
I've brought it to different cities. I've been on planes with it. You know, I've done
It's a lot more broken in than it was at first.
It is, yeah.
And so the buckle is kind of semi-functional.
Yeah. This is sort of a detail I don't think is really necessary on the jacket, and they make models that actually have detachable belts. For me, I usually just keep it strapped in here with this nice little snap they've got, because I guess I don't really like the look of it just hanging around. So many people wear their jackets with this just hanging down. This looks a little more put together to me.
Yeah.
And kept up. So yeah. And the pockets are fairly accessible, which I enjoy. Like I say, you could throw a lot of crap in this, with all of its different pockets.
Would I be mistaken to attribute kind of a James Dean look to you?
I think you would not be mistaken. That's very fair. I think that was another popularization of the jacket. I can't remember what movie he was in that.
Rebel Without a Cause?
It must have been.
Yeah.
Wearing a jacket like this.
I think you look very Americana.
Yeah, that is certainly the point, as a distinctly American leather garment. So.
Yep. Yeah. Great. Well, thanks for sharing your jacket with us.
Absolutely.
Y'all take care.